Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching the first episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Oh my, has this been a bit of a controversial series. The series received a lot of negative attention when the first few trailers came out, especially regarding the CGI for the series. And it's definitely no secret that Marvel's visual effects division hasn't exactly had the best of times, especially when it comes to the amount of projects they have to work on every year. But putting that aside, what do I think of the series? I actually thought it was kind of a mixed bag. There are plenty of things that I do like, and other things that I really don't. There are some jokes that land, and others that just die. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows Jennifer Walters, played by Tatiana Maslany, who happens to be a successful lawyer and the cousin of Bruce Banner. Unfortunately, on a car ride, Jennifer Walters ends up with some of Bruce Banner's gamma irradiated blood in her system. So that turns her into the She-Hulk, basically another version of the Hulk, and Bruce Banner decides that he's got to take her to his bar slash special facility in Mexico in order to have her properly learn how to use her Hulk powers and to control her Hulk state. But thankfully, it seems that she doesn't have another person inside of her that that would make things difficult for her. So she doesn't have to go through as much traumatic training as the Hulk had to go through, but she still has to learn how to control her emotions. But rather than taking a few years, it took only a few months. So that's definitely something that I felt could have been expanded upon a bit more. But regardless, Jen feels that she can use her Hulk powers. She doesn't have to use her Hulk powers in her lawyer job, even though she has to work with superhuman clients sometimes. But Bruce Banner feels that she's going to have to use her superpowers to help save the day at one point, because that's just what people with those powers do in this universe, and that's an obligation they have. With great power comes great responsibility and all that stuff. So I can see where both arguments are going for. Jen doesn't want to be torn away from her life as a lawyer that she's been working for her entire life, but Bruce also points out that people with those powers have a responsibility to protect those without them. And even though she's a lawyer, she might have to do that in the middle of a courtroom, considering courtrooms can get pretty heated anyways, especially in the Marvel universe. So I can see where both are going through, but some choices in the writing do make Tatiana Maslany's Jennifer Walters come across as a little unlikable. I hope the writing helps to keep her generally likable on the audience's side while still keeping her true to the comic character, because there are some choices that do feel like they're right on brand with She-Hulk in the comics. She does break the fourth wall a couple of times, which she did quite often in this sensational She-Hulk run, and she does show a bit of self-awareness, which the comic character obviously had too. But there also are some inconsistencies, like the running Captain America's a virgin joke, which, first of all, that's resolved in an end credits scene, and second of all, that does seem like the History Channel that she watched for Captain America got a few facts wrong, especially since Steve Rogers was originally used for promotional pieces for the army and for USO shows, more so than actually seeing actual combat at first. I know she never saw the first movie, but you'd think the History Channel would get part of that right. But they did that for the sake of a joke that I just didn't particularly find funny. That being said, I'm not angry at any part of the show. I just feel that certain parts of it could have been written better, and they could have been done to spice up what otherwise seems to be a pretty breezy origin story. And though thankfully it doesn't take too much time to get to the interesting stuff, considering that sometimes these shows can go on for 45 minutes to an entire hour for episodes, this one feels like it's only about 30 minutes, which feels like it should be the length of a lot of the episodes going forward. But will the series actually get really good with its cameos and characters as it goes on? I'll find out. This one's an okay premiere, but I felt there were both good and bad things to discuss. So see you next time.